The iPhone 17 Pro is still a few weeks away from its big reveal, with Apple expected to launch the entire iPhone 17 lineup on September 9th. But before the official event, the internet has been caught up in a rather strange twist. A dummy unit of the iPhone 17 Pro has appeared online, and instead of running iOS, it's running Android. Yes, you heard that right, an iPhone with Android, showing up a whole month before launch. Now, before you start thinking Apple has completely changed its approach, let's clear something up. This isn't the real iPhone 17 Pro. In fact, according to experts, it's not even a close copy of the real thing. What we're seeing is one of those early dummy units that tend to surface before major product launches. They're usually made for things like case fitting, store displays, or, as in this case, just to get people talking online. This particular leak comes from well-known tipster Sonny Dickson, who shared 3 photos of the device. The first photo shows a plain phone box with a black iPhone image printed on it. The second shows a silver phone with the iconic Apple logo on its back. So far, it looks pretty believable. But the third photo is where things get interesting. The screen is turned on, and at first glance, it looks just like iOS. The home screen shows familiar Apple icons, such as the App Store and Safari. From a quick look, it's easy to mistake it for the real deal, but according to Sonny, this phone is actually running Android. And the proof is hiding in a very small detail, the clock display. Here's the catch: on this dummy unit, the time is shown as 5:20. That might not seem unusual until you remember how Apple handles time in iOS. In Apple's system, single-digit hours never display with a leading 0 in English language regions, so you'd see 5:20, not 5:20. This applies whether you're using the 12-hour format or the 24-hour format. Android, however, often shows a leading 0 in 24-hour mode by default, unless you manually change it, so 5:20 is the normal format you'd see in Android's system interface and notification bar. This subtle difference gives away the fact that this iPhone is actually an Android phone that's been thinned to look like iOS, likely using a custom launcher, icon pack, and Apple-style wallpapers. But that's not the only thing that feels off. Apple fans have noticed another big difference: the bezels. On this dummy device, the bezels around the display are noticeably thick, which doesn't match what we've been hearing from reliable iPhone 17 Pro leaks. In fact, credible sources say Apple is aiming to make the bezels even thinner than those on the iPhone 16 Pro series. So these chunky borders are another clear sign that this isn't Apple's real product. This is a good reminder that not everything you see online before a major launch is accurate. Dummy units like this are often based on incomplete design leaks, guesses, or a mix of real and fake details. In this case, we've got a silver phone that looks like an iPhone on the outside, runs Android on the inside, and has bezels that Apple's design team would never approve. Still, these kinds of fakes are a sign of just how much excitement builds before an Apple launch. People are eager to get a glimpse of the next iPhone, even if it means falling for convincing imitations. And to be fair, this particular fake is impressive enough that you'd need to look closely at something as small as a clock format to figure it out. As the September launch date gets closer, we can expect more leaks, more rumors, and yes, more fake units like this one. But when the real iPhone 17 Pro is unveiled, it will almost certainly feature Apple's latest iOS 26 software and ultra-premium design and bezels so thin they'll make this dummy unit look ancient. Apple is known for keeping a few surprises for the official event. Even though leaks have become harder to contain in recent years, there's almost always at least 1 or 2 features that aren't revealed until Tim Cook steps on stage. So while it's fun to examine these pre-launch models and spot details, like the 5:20 clock, it's worth remembering that the final product will be a completely different story. The real iPhone 17 Pro is coming very soon, and that's when we'll know exactly what Apple has been working on behind the scenes. Until then, enjoy the pre-launch hype, but take every leak with a pinch of salt. Some of them, like this Android-powered iPhone, are purely for entertainment. And judging by how much attention it's getting, it's doing a pretty good job at that.